We are going to multiply a monomial by a polynomial. So mono meaning one. So we have one term multiplied. In this case, I'm going to do a trinomial by a trinomial. 1, 2, 3. Remember that the terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So remember our multiplying rule. Numbers do what numbers have always done. So with the numbers, the coefficients, we just multiply. 3 times an imaginary 1 is still 3. And then there's no more x's, there's no more y's. So that's just 3x squared y. On this one, I want to take the 3 and multiply it by -6. I get -18. That negative becomes my minus. And then remember that our multiply rule is when you have the same base, the same letter, you add the exponents. Here's an imaginary 1, imaginary 1. I have y to the 2. And then there's no more letters here, so I just do 3 times 7 is 21, and my y has to go in the answer. So we've multiplied monomials. So all we're doing today, nothing new. I'm taking my knowledge of multiplying monomials and my knowledge of distributive property, and I'm combining them. So on number 2, multiply the 4x by everything in parentheses. 4x times x squared is 4x. We add the exponents and get x to the third, but don't forget that imaginary 1. 4 times -6 is -24. And then I just put the xy. Here, 4x times 7 is 28x. Alrighty, on the next one, I'm going to take a 5x squared y, and I'm going to distribute it by everything in parentheses. 5 times 4 is 20. There's 2 x's, so I'm going to add their exponents and get x third. There's only one y, so he doesn't change. 5 times -3 is -15. Remember that the negative becomes my minus. X to the 4, y to the 3. 2 plus 2, 1 plus 2. And then 5 times -2 is -10. There's no more x's, so I keep the x squared. There's a y1 and a y3, that becomes y4. On the last example, 8 times 2 is 16. A to the 4 plus 1, b to the 1 plus 1, and then there's no more c's, so it stays 5. 8 times -3 is -24. A to the 4 plus 2 is 6. B to the 1 plus 2 is 3. C to the 5 plus 1 is 6. Then we get down to just a constant. 8 times 5 is 40. Since it's positive, I put a plus sign, and then I just keep the variables and exponents as they are because there was nothing to combine them with. Now, some people like to use a strategy called the box method when they do this problem. So let's do this last one with what I would call the box method. You would put your monomial in front of the parentheses right here, and then you would put each term that you're multiplying by over a box. So since this is a 1 by 3, I made a 1 by 3 box. I'm going to put the 2ab here, the -3 a squared b squared c, and then the +5. So what you do here is you multiply this by the thing over the box, and that gets you that term. Some people like the box because it's more visual. It helps them not leave out a term. It helps them know what they're multiplying by what. So 8 times 2 is 16. Add the a exponents, add the b exponents, write down the c. 8 times -3 is -24. Add the a exponents, add the b exponents, add the c exponents. 8 times 5 is 40. Just write down the letters and exponents because there's nothing to combine them with. You will see that I got the exact same answer I got right here because when there's no negative, right here my negative becomes my minus, but here since it's positive, that tells me to put a plus. So there's my answer.